Hi, Jeremy here, Modern Vitality. In today's video, fibromyalgia, how to go from inflamed and bedbound to tearing a phone book in half with your bare hands. I'm not even joking. I'm going to show you how to rip a phone book in half. Even if you're bedridden, even if you have pain, right? We're going to look at it. Even if you don't get it on the first try, it's okay. What we're going to do here is we're going to take this simple act that unleashes some of the hidden power you have inside that you're not acknowledging, right? I'm going to turn you onto that so you can find that in yourself, because when you come out the other side of this thing, you're going to be so proud of yourself, you won't believe what you did, and you'll think, what else can I do, right? This is great for morale. It's great for motivation. Even if you don't get it the first time, you got to practice sometimes. There's a lot to this. We're going to be looking at the physics of it. We're going to be looking at the energetics of it. And we're going to be looking at the analogy of it and what else it means in terms of opening up complex problems such as healing, and how to take something that seems insurmountable and overwhelming and actually organize it until you find every little tiny step you need to take to get where you want to go. That means getting your life back. That means being happy again. All right, let's get started. You know, these things are rare nowadays. We don't get phone books too often. I was pretty excited when one came because I've been waiting to shoot this video for a while. I think the metaphor is really appropriate, and the physicality of doing this. Again, like, you might have to practice, okay? That's normal. Sometimes you don't get things on the first try. But what we're going to look at is taking something that seems impossible and shattering that by proving to yourself that you can do it. Now, you may want to start with a smaller phone book, right? You can always do that. You can always rip a chunk of these pages. You know, you can rip it here and you make a smaller little phone book. You can always try with something small. Get some practice in that way. Get the hang of the technique, right? Get into a safe environment where you're starting to feel comfortable and confident and all that, and then work your way up to a big, thick brick like this. When you see people ripping phone books in half, it's a lot of times like a strongman feat, right? I'm not a big guy, you know? You don't have to be huge and full of muscles to do this if you know what you're doing. And it's the same thing with complex chronic inflammatory conditions. It's a huge feat. Some people get better. How are they doing this? Well, I can tell you, especially the people I work with, they're following a plan. They're taking apart something like this that seems overwhelming, and we're taking it into tiny, 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 tiny pieces. This phone book is like the perfect metaphor. It's the perfect analogy for healing. And I literally want you to do this. So you're going to want to, I mean, I can't make you do this, obviously, right? This is a free will planet. You're an adult. I'm just providing a perspective. But if you don't physically try to do this, you will be missing out on a tangible piece of this learning, of this exercise. There is something about watching it happen. And a lot of people will just watch this video and go, oh, okay, yeah, interesting metaphor. Yeah, I get it. Don't be like that. Don't be the majority of people who will just watch it and think that's enough. Actually be the minority of people who decide, I want to feel that. Where's a phone book, right? You know, you got one around somewhere, right? Or call your neighbor. You know, somebody has one. Go get a phone book and do it. Get your hands in there. Get that tactile sense. You need to start to feel your own power. Our society, this is a bit of a tangent, I'll admit, but our society is so detached from a lot of things. You know, we push buttons to get things done, right? If you're hungry, push a button. You know, some food will arrive to your house. You know, there's so many things we just swipe and push buttons and that's it. And we're losing some of our physical prowess, right? And there's a very satisfying, very primal thing that your brain and your spirit needs in terms of interacting with the world, right? And even if you have joint pain or something like that, you know, obviously don't hurt yourself doing this activity. Start with a smaller chunk of a book. Start with just a few pages. That's fine, right? Don't hurt yourself, but within your capacity, give it a shot. And if you don't get it the first time, keep going, because we get good at what we practice. Are we practicing trying something and giving up? And that's the kind of person we start to tell ourselves we are. Or are we practicing trying something? That didn't quite work. I'll try again. Oh, I'll try something a little bit different, right? Persistence. You need to have this. The qualities of people who get better from their illnesses, right? The mental traits, the spiritual traits. You can't be fragile. I give up. No, not here, right? Not if you're on this channel. You're not a give up kind of person, obviously, right? Obviously. So take that same skill set, apply it to the phone book. Take that same skill set, apply it to any other challenge you have, including complex chronic health conditions. So I'm going to show you how to do this because these things are tough books. This one's about 450 pages thick, right? And it's a tough book. And if I try to rip it in half, nothing's going to happen, right? Because I'm not physically strong enough to just muscle through this thing. However, with the right mindset, the right technique, the right steps, it's going to come apart almost on its own. There is an easy way. We can take big problems and make them easy for ourselves. So I'm going to show you how to do that right now. So as you'll notice, there's a bunch of pages here. And when they're all compressed together, this is very strong. It's very difficult to break, right? So what we have to do is actually take this thing stage by stage. And what that means is we have to develop a technique. So I'm going to hold the book with my thumbs like this, right? And I'm going to start to scrunch it together. And what I want to do is I want to get this V shape happening. You can see that. See that V, right? Now, the trick is I keep my pointer fingers pressing together, right? So I can keep it scrunched up. And then what I do is I let my thumbs spread out. And what you can see happening here, I'm going to try to get this very, very close. What you can see happening is I'm down to about 1 page, right? You see that? So instead of having the whole thing, I've split, right? I've split this, and now I've got it down to, there's like 1 page that I'm working on there. So once we get that, all I'm thinking about are my thumbs, and I'm thinking about that first page, okay? So we want to get some air between the pages. We want to let them breathe, because once we start doing that, we've separated things out, we've isolated it to where we can now start to make a change. That's how you start setting this up. Now, in terms of actually breaking it, you don't want to try to pull it apart like this. You want to twist it like that. You want to separate the pages just like how you would rip a page, right? So I'm not trying to just pull it apart. It's not going to work. So you can see how I've got it set up. I'm isolating out these pages by my thumbs. I'm trying to take it 1 page at a time, right? And what's happening is I'm creating a wave of energy that's just going through 1 page at a time. And once you got some progress here, you can just shred it, right? Because we started it with a technique where we only had to rip. All I really had to rip was this to get it going. But because I knew where to start and I knew what to do, it was this, and then the next page, and the next page, and the next page, all 450 of them. Something that seemed insurmountable, right? And impossible. You know, trying to rip it, no way, right? No way. But if I can get it, set it up, I start isolating 1 page, right? 1 at a time, and then go from there. Fantastic. You can totally do this. You can absolutely do this. Start with a smaller book if you need to. Like maybe you take a phone book like this and you just go, okay, I'll rip it down the spine, right? And then you'd only have this thick to work with, and you can practice that, pushing it together, and then isolating that 1 page, and then going from there, right? It's amazing. This doesn't take a lot of power. It takes organization, it takes thought, it takes follow through. It takes somebody stepping aside with you and showing you over their shoulder, like I literally just did, and saying, I know this seems like a big problem. Here's how we take it apart, right? This, by the way, is what we do in our group, Modern Vitality Solutions and Support. If you're struggling with a complex chronic inflammatory condition, you don't have to do it alone. There's wonderful people. We're all hanging out together in the group. It's free to join. The link is in the description below this video. You've got people from all over the world in there. It's international, lovely people, very positive. They're all working through the stages. Stage 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Immune, digestive, neuroadrenal, blood circulation, in order. Just like page 1, page 2, page 3, page 4, right? In order to take apart very, very complex chronic health conditions. And you can see in real time, right? Everybody's in there healing and, oh, it's great, we're getting wins. And then all, as happens, there will be backslides, triggers, flare-ups, right? It always happens. And you can see what happens there too. You can see how this system is nimble and how we troubleshoot that. You can watch right over my shoulder when somebody comes in and says, hey, I've been feeling great. And then, my kid brought home a cold, or I got in a car accident, or whatever it is, and I got set back, I got flared up. And instead of panicking and spiraling and freaking out that they've lost all their progress, instead you can watch what happens as we troubleshoot that and get people right back on track. You can ask me anything in there about your case, right? I'm happy to share my perspective. We've got a vault full of interactive videos. You can learn a ton about yourself and where you're at, what you need to be doing next. It's a wonderful, wonderful place. Great people. I'd encourage you to apply if this interests you, if you feel like there's resonance there, come on in. I'll see your application. If you look like a good fit for the group, I'll get you in as soon as I can. I keep it kind of small, kind of cozy, because I like to know who's in there, so when I'm answering questions, I can remember who I'm talking to. But that also means sometimes there's a wait. We cap out at like 100 or 200 people max. So you might be in on the next monthly cohort or something like that. I hope it maybe takes a month, maybe 2 maximum. I try to get people in pretty quick. If you do the phone book challenge, right? Let us know in the group. When you come in the group, say, hey, I did the phone book thing. Send a picture, right? Let's see it. Don't be shy about your power. This is your power. You unlock your power because you have steps and strategy. I didn't rip this thing in half because I'm freakishly strong. I ripped it in half because I know how to take one thing at a time and in the right order. I didn't try to rip the front page and then the back page and then one in the middle, right? I'm not a magician, you know? You have to have it organized, just like your body. Your body wants to heal. There's an order to it. Once you learn that order, you can start intervening in your body in a way where all of a sudden you start getting a lot of your life back. And then the more progress you get, the easier it gets. It's fantastic. So yeah, share that in the group, right? If you wind up in the group, you join, you apply, you get in there. Everybody would love to see it. Very supportive. We love wins like that. In the meantime, you might consider subscribing to this channel, like this video, right? Hit the buttons, tell the algorithm what you want to see, because otherwise you're just going to be scrolling and seeing whatever passive entertainment comes up. Instead, you can train YouTube to show you videos like this one that are going to help you get your health back, get your life back, start tapping into some of that internal power. All right, rip a phone book up. It's good for you. Let's get you feeling better. Cheers.